In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how I got an LLC. I got mine last year, and there was a bunch of different steps that I had to take. And before I took that step to get the LLC formed, there was a couple things that I needed to do in order to prep myself for it. We'll talk about that and more in this video. Want to work with me? Definitely consider going to my booking link. It's in the description, and we can look and see what kind of video project you need for your business, your brand, whatever it may be. But definitely consider contacting me there, and we could go from there. So I look forward to hearing from you. Anyway, let's get back to the video. There was a few things I needed to do in order for me to go from sole proprietor or solo videographer, whatever you want to call yourself, to now forming a single member LLC in my case. And a few of those things, the first thing, which is essential to any business, you need to have a business plan. For me, being a single member LLC, I kept it lean, so I'm going to be a bit vulnerable and show you just a little under the hood of my business, and then show you how I ended up pretty much going ahead and creating that business plan. You know, it had objectives, my competition, and a few other key goals and milestones. This will help you in your roadmap to succeed as a business. It's your North Star, essentially, for your own success with your LLC. Liking the content so far on this channel, thanks for either dropping a like or considering subscribing. But if you want to help support the channel, join our Patreon today. We have 2 tier levels of subscriptions. Executive producers for $10 a month, or being a production assistant for $5 a month. You'll get a shout out at the end of my videos, and then also you'll get access to behind the scenes looks of my videos, essentially YouTube videos before they release, and a few other different pieces of content that I won't necessarily put out on YouTube. So definitely consider joining the Patreon today, and I really appreciate your support in advance. And let's get back to the video. So the next thing you want to do is find the competition in your niche. You want to differentiate yourself in regards to your competition. And for me, it's a video, so I'm going to show kind of like who my competition is within the 3 spaces that I work with in my niches. Music, videos, live music, weddings, and then businesses. Right now I'm focusing on small to mid-sized businesses, but then eventually I do want to work with larger businesses. And so those are a few different things that I realized I needed to look into my competition, see what they had, and then how I could differentiate my services so that paid clients can work with me and they know that they're getting a good bang for their buck and results. And now that I have my business plan and also who my competition is and a few key different things, you know, in place to have that structure, I decided, you know, before I would form the LLC, I needed some coaching and guidance. I had the pleasure to work with Eric Horn, who's also one of my clients. He is a career coach and business coach, and he does consulting for a spectrum of businesses and folks who are in entry level in their career all the way to executive level. So I was able to do a boot camp with him, and that was really cool. And, you know, he gave me X, Y, and Z all the way from the beginning to the end of how I should conduct my business, referral programs, pricing, contracts, all that. But I understand that some folks, you might not necessarily have the access to a business coach. I totally get it. quick Google search will allow you to go ahead and essentially be able to find a small business center within your city or town. I know a lot of major cities here in the States, we do have small business centers within major metro areas. I'm not sure how it is in smaller towns, so definitely giving Google a try will definitely help you out. So the next couple steps is getting into that process of filing the LLC. First, what you're going to want to do is create your articles of organization in a quick Google Doc, because that's going to help you out in the actual filing. And so pretty much it needs to have a representative of the LLC. So if you're a single member LLC, that's going to be you, your legal mailing address, and a few key pieces of info. Next thing you're going to want to do is, after you've gotten your articles of organization, is get together an operating agreement. An operating agreement is so huge for your business because in my next couple of the next steps after the fact, after we've formed the LLC, you're going to need that in place. So there's plenty of templates online for the operating agreement. I advise that you have a lawyer look it over for you, just to make sure that the legal jargon in it is up to date and it prevents you from getting sued from an external entity or a company. So now that you have your operating agreement and your articles of organization in place, you're going to go ahead and file the LLC. So in order to file the LLC, you could go to your state's website or use like a actual LLC formation service like Taylor Brands. I highly recommend just doing it for free and then just paying the basic filing fee for your LLC, and then you'll have that all good to go. But if you want to use Taylor Brands, or there's another LLC service you'd rather prefer, go for it. But if you're looking to be lean, I prefer and highly recommend just doing it yourself. It's very easy. It's only going to take you a couple minutes online, and then pay the state filing fee. After you've done the LLC formation, you're going to want to get your EIN, so your employee identification number. It's a tax ID, and it pretty much will help you out when you need to open up your business banking account, which we'll eventually get into, but also keep you in compliance with your LLC. And there's a lot of benefits essentially that comes with your EIN that'll definitely help you out with getting that account opened. Next up, after you've gotten your LLC filed, your EIN, go open up a business bank account. So I recommend going to a community bank over a larger bank. Community banks tend to have less of a deposit that you have to put in down, and just making sure that you have that amount all the time without incurring fees. If you were to go to a bigger bank branch like Chase, for example, they're probably going to require you to have $2,000 at hand all the time without having any fees. So I advise just doing a basic Google search, looking to see what community banks will help you out with opening up that business bank account. So they're going to have a few requirements from you. They're going to want your EIN, the name of your LLC, and a lot of these banks that you're opening up a business account, they're going to want a copy of your operating agreement. So that's why that was key into making sure that you have that in place. So now that we got our business bank account open, our LLCs up and running, what's next? So accounting. Accounting is huge and important because it's going to deal with taxes. I'll get into taxes in a bit, but I definitely want you to make sure that you're using some type of accounting software. Whether you want to keep it lean, start off with Google Sheets, and then once you become a bit more profitable, either use QuickBooks or Monarch or something where it'll be easier to keep track of your expenses for tax deductions. So accounting is super important. At the beginning of your LLC, you'll be doing basic cash accrual, so cash in, cash out on your expenses. Now that all the accounting is out of the way, you're essentially, when it comes to taxes time, gonna want to figure out what deductibles there are for you in order to write off on your taxes. I'm curious to know if you want me to talk a little bit about the different tax write-offs when I had to file my taxes this year. If you want me to make a video about that, definitely drop that in the comments. I would definitely appreciate to read those comments that you have. But one of the things you're going to have to do, according to the IRS, an LLC is considered a disregarded entity. So it passes through you, the individual member or representative of the LLC. So if you're a W-2 employee, you could do it yearly with your taxes and essentially, make all the different write-offs you need to make on the LLC side. Just make sure that you keep business expenses and personal expenses separately, because that is a huge thing and you don't want to find yourself getting audited in the future. And pretty much you're going to do a Schedule C along with your normal 1099. You're going to get a few different basic deductions, but look for ways that you can make a lot of different deductions for your business so that your liability isn't too much. I'm not a tax expert, but I just want to let you know that there's ways to ease the tax burden that you have as a solo LLC business owner. The next step for you to do is get yourself some clients. It's great to have friends who need your services, and then finding referrals, and then eventually getting retainer clients, people who still want to work with you. So that's kind of where I'm at, trying to get more retainer clients for my business and then see it grow. And yeah, those are all the things that I did in order to get my LLC. I might have missed a step or two. So if you've done that and you have a tip that you want to share with the community, definitely let me know in the comments. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll read it as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.